Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
It's wonderful to be here. I think this is my first time in Rockville, but I'm sure it will not be my last. I call Baltimore City my home, and I've lived there and in Maryland in general, but in Baltimore City specifically, longer than I've lived anywhere else. I do, like many of the other people who speak here, have a different city of origin. I grew up in New York City, but that was a long time ago. Like, as I said, I've lived in Maryland here longer than anybody else. I'm going to talk to you now about Maryland. Why? Because I'm running for governor of Maryland. The other people that you've heard speak are running to represent you, or some portion of you, a certain district of Maryland, either in the United States Congress or else in our state House of Delegates. So naturally they're going to be talking about issues about changing laws, about writing laws, repealing laws, doing things, legislating in general. But the governor is an executive position. In Maryland, the governor has unusual powers, more than the governors of many other states. The biggest power is the ability to put that budget, that state budget, in front of the legislature. They can remove things from the budget, but they cannot add to it once I've put it, as governor, once I've put it in front of them. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to start cutting back spending. We have a lot of people in our state government with six-figure salaries. We don't know what they're doing. I think some of them should be looking for another job. I have a problem with the way that lately, the last several years, people have been leaving jobs in the private sector to go to government jobs, not for greater security, which is what it used to be, but also for a higher salary. Don't you remember hearing government workers saying, I could be making so much more if I were doing the same thing in a private business, but I'm here because I want to serve the people? Don't you remember people saying that? That's not true anymore. If you hear someone saying that now, they're just plain lying. They are making more than you will ever make in some of these government jobs. And of course, when they retire, their pensions are going to be better than anything you could ever possibly hope for without being very, very smart in your investments. And even that's been wiped away now with this economic collapse. So my first position, I can't do this directly because this is the job of the legislators, but I will cut spending to the point where we will be able, at the end of 8 years, 2 terms with me as governor, to have no state sales tax. Can you imagine that? Going into the store and just paying whatever the thing costs and nothing added to it. This would be a big boon for the people in Elkton, a big boon for the people in the northern eastern shore, where they're losing a lot of business to Delaware that has no sales tax. But I think it's going to be a big boon to the working poor also. That's the one that this particular tax hit hurts the most, the working poor. I can drive over to Delaware with my husband and stock up on tax-free goods once a month, but the people who don't have a car can't do that. They're stuck. My second point, and you've heard people talking about the wars a lot. Well, you might ask, what can a governor do about the war in Iraq, the war in Afghanistan? There's one thing I can do. We have young men and women of the Maryland National Guard in harm's way over in Iraq and Afghanistan right now. They're getting killed, they're coming back severely maimed, without legs, without hands, with brain damage. These 2 wars were never declared officially by U.S. Congress, therefore they are unconstitutional, therefore they are illegal. The federalization of our Maryland National Guard was an illegal act. As Commander-in-Chief, I will order our young men and women home, back to Maryland, where we need them. We need them. What if we have a hurricane? What if we have a big snow like we did last winter? We could use their help. Here, not there. My final point is that I believe very strongly that the Second Amendment to the U.S. Constitution meant what it says when it said the right of citizens to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed upon. Now, a previous governor has said that he would like to do something about that, but he was waiting for the state legislature to pass a law making it easier for people to get a permit to carry a firearm should they feel the need for protection when they go out on the streets or drive around dark back roads all by themselves. Well, Maryland already is a may issue state, which means that if the state superintendent of police feels that you should be getting have the permit to keep and bear arms, he may issue you one. But then again, he may not. So I'll put the right person in that position who will, not just may, but will let you carry a firearm if you're a law-abiding citizen, you have no criminal record, you're of sound mind, and you just want one. Why not? I was interviewed by Ron Smith not too long ago, and you may know that he lives in Pennsylvania, even though he has a very long-running radio talk show right here, right in Baltimore. And he can carry a gun up there. It's legal. But he has to leave it behind when he comes down to Pennsylvania, or otherwise he would be classified as a criminal just for doing that. That is ridiculous. I know another young person, I met the sister of a young man who is right now in jail. He has committed no crime. He just was discovered to have a firearm on his person. While he's rotting there in jail, he wrote to his mother saying, "I've seen murderers walking out the door, but I'm still here." This kind of thing has got to stop. One thing a governor can do, an executive can do, is administer justice fairly and evenly to all people. And that's my commitment. I will not show favoritism. I will not give special privileges to anybody. Everybody else, if they're Republican, if they're Democrat, they owe stuff to people. They owe stuff to the unions. They owe favors to big developers. They owe favors here, right, left, and front and center. If you vote for a libertarian, or you vote for a green, or you vote for a member of the Constitution Party who's running for office, they get in. They don't know anybody anything. I could not care less who I get mad. If I only have 4 years, I'll do everything I possibly can in those 4 years, and then let people I dare people to throw me out, because they'll want me to go on for another 4 years. So that's my pledge to you, and I'm asking for your vote. Again, in case you don't remember my name, it's Susan. The last name is Gastanaga. Susan Gastanaga, Libertarian for Governor.